morning. As promised, my co-host Wayne Holloman is back. Good morning,
Was
sir.
there any doubt I would arrive?
You have no idea. We have a call.
Right out of the gate, you didn't even answer it.
Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, live morning show.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing just fine.
What can we do for you this morning, sir?
Is Wayne up there with y'all today?
He is sitting just to my left.
Are you not watching?
Yes, I am.
Well, then I would think you would know I was sitting here. Right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay, Mr. Wayne, I'm just checking in on you. You know me, I got to check in on you.
Well, I appreciate that very much. Very much.
All right.
Have a great day, buddy.
All right, we're going to see you later, buddy.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
He didn't tell you he liked your shirt.
I'm offended. I'm choosing to be offended. Right?
Choosing to be offended.
Yeah, well, I have to preface that because I get on people for getting offended and say, good gosh, we've got a lot of announcements.
Do you want to go and do that?
Well, we'll get through a couple. Let's spread them out a little bit here and there.
All right.
Women's self-defense and defensive shooting class coming up Wednesday, July 26th and Thursday, July 27th, 6 to 10 at 2725 North Church Street here in Rocky Mount. Class instruction includes self-defense tactics, awareness, critical defensive shooting, wear comfortable clothing. The instruction will be offered by Sheriffs Clee Atkinson and Keith Stone. $100 to attend the class, gun and ammo provided. Call 813-8898 for more information. Also, WHIG TV's karaoke is back for a one-time only appearance, Saturday, July 29th, 2 to 4 at Golden East Crossing Mall. Come celebrate 25 years with us. We'll just kind of we'll do a couple more near the end of the segment. Right. We're going to stick right here with you all the way up to 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Since we kind of had, a little bit of a different format here on Tuesday. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Well, please, for whatever reason we couldn't pick that call up, please call us back.
Yeah. So yesterday, Lim, we had a very lively topic. We talked about the two brothers that have started the podcast. They started the podcast several months ago and came into the city council meeting, and then we also introduced, and this was the first time a lot of our viewers had been introduced to Mr. Tim Barnes, who has lived in the city of Rocky Mount for 17 years, I believe he said. He moved here in 2006, and just in the last week, I believe, started a Facebook page, Instagram, called The True Rocky Mount. I had just found out about that since the last time you and I had done a show together, and started following his page to see what he was all about. So, Lim, we're getting all kinds of people that are just popping up here all of a sudden that are taking great interest in the city of Rocky Mount. We ask a couple questions, like why now? I know you missed a lot of my discussion with Mr. Barnes because you had stepped out to preface your time with Adrian. Tim Barnes is going to be joining us right here live on the show Monday at 8 o'clock.
Excellent.
I know that just a little bit of discussion, and then we're going to kind of go back to where we left off yesterday. We introduced him, talked about his vision and why he's doing what he's doing. He is obviously very passionate about what's going on here in Rocky Mount. He's lived here for 17 years, and he said the time is now to I'll go back more into what we discussed, but we had a caller at the end of the show yesterday that made some comments that I know you wanted to respond to.
We have a caller. Good morning, caller.
How you doing? I was just going to tell you your volume. I can't hear it.
We continue to have issues from a volume standpoint. I will let our technical staff know.
I'm still watching you. Sandra eats with us all the time, but I just want to let you know if you didn't know it.
Appreciate it very much. We're getting...
you got a great show. Take care.
Thank you.
And you are calling from Parker's Barbecue, sir?
I am.
Okay. All right. The reason we ask is we're trying to help Suddenlink determine where these outages are, because it's not. We don't think it's on our end. It's on the broadcast end that we're having to go through to get to you. So that's why I asked.
Yeah,
So
our technical
person
guru was
wants-
flashing us a sign
Yes.
to ask you something, and we were
Yes.
trying to read what it was. So that's
We're
why.
on a green light, actually, so it could be something there.
Okay.
All the other channels seem to be working, but I watch y'all in the morning.
We certainly
We
appreciate
appreciate it. And we're sorry for the problem, sir. We're doing everything we can to correct it. So
But I can read
thank
your
you.
lips.
No, that's dangerous. All right, appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So we're good. Okay. All right.
good.
Got a text from someone saying they were hearing a spine. It just depends on where you are, I believe, but we're doing what we can.
Which reminds me,
Yeah.
and aside, just right before we get started, have you seen or are you going to see Sound of Freedom, the movie?
I have not, and I may. I mean, it's not on my burning list of things that I'm like dying to go see, but
Have you heard the stories about, especially in AMC movie theaters, how it seems to be that one movie continues to have problems, sound problems with the movies,
I didn't hear
air
that.
conditioning going out in just that part of the theater, lights not working, music playing over that, people seeing just that movie.
Wow.
It's interesting.
I-
I wonder if one would begin to think that there might be some people that wouldn't want people to see that movie for whatever reason it might be.
that's a very.
About pedophilia.
Are you insinuating there might be some people that don't want to hear what we have to
I
say?
can only say
Okay.
that we continue to have these problems.
Okay.
I can only draw conclusions from that.
I don't know. I don't know. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Wayne and Mr. Lim. How y'all doing this morning?
I'm great.
Real well.
Hope you are.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I want to say,
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Good.
All right. Proceed.
Yeah.
Yes. When it's on channel 17, I can hear you, but when it's 17-1, I cannot hear you. It's mute.
Oh, okay.
So let me make sure that our technical staff knows that it's 17-1 that
I thought we were. This is Ms. Vick.
Ms. Vick.
Yeah, this is Ms.
Yes.
Vick.
Again, we're trying to track down. We're asking names, so we're trying to track down where people can hear it and where they can't hear it, ma'am. That's the only
I
reason.
thought we were promoting the new Ninja Turtle movie here. I will go see that. Now I do want to go see the new Ninja Turtle movie. That's at the top of my list, actually.
what?
Yeah, the gentleman that called yesterday, I think it's called Unite Rocky Mountain. What exactly is his qualms with Rocky Mountain? It's no perfect place, and I know Mr. Rogers there, he's doing the best he can, and Sandy Robinson doing the best he can. I guess with the rules, everything is so structured, and you got a city attorney sitting over there. The city is so structured. So what can we do without the law being in there? It's sort of.
Were you listening when Mr. Barnes called me? Did you hear my talk with him?
I just got right on the end of it.
Okay.
Not all of it.
I'll give. Let me give a brief recap of the talk, and also for Lim's benefit as well, because he had stepped out to prepare for his interview. So Mr. Barnes has been here for 17 years. He started this Facebook page called The True Rocky Mount. He's not hiding behind some moniker name, like he said, this is who I am. I'm the one responsible for this page. He said that he decided one morning not too long ago, he's like, in his mind, he says, I can't take this anymore. Like he feels like there's a lot of people out in our community that are being silenced. He feels like there's a ton of people that have concerns about certain council representatives, certain dealings that are just being silenced, whether it's intimidation, not wanting to go to the council meeting to express their concerns. He also said that the way that the thing with the audit played out, did not satisfy many people. He's not happy with the nearly 80% of people that are in our area that choose not to vote. He also referenced only 9 out of possibly 7,000 people attending Councilman T.J. Walker's monthly Zoom meeting last weekend on Sunday evening. just a plethora of things that have he's grown frustrated with. He did make reference to trying to have several meetings or interactions with several of the council representatives, and that they had kind of blown him off or walked out on him, or but I think the gist of what he's saying is that he is ready to start a movement that the people that feel like they have no voice, or the people that feel like they're silenced, or are not happy that the alleged misconduct is still going on, or has gone on, or has been swept under the rug. He wants to be a part of a movement that puts Rocky Mount on the map nationally, because obviously the local officials had these findings from Beth Wood's audit, did nothing about them, and people are still left here frustrated, not trusting their leadership. So he is trying to spearhead a movement that will get national journalists and people to notice what is going on, the alleged misdeeds here in Rocky Mount, and hopes that through that effort that a lot of people will rally around, and if they use him and the Urban Conservative and Adrian Copeland and those outlets, that more people will speak out and they can put what they consider an end to all of this corruption. I think I summed it up.
But I mean, that's a lot said right there. But but how do you really supposed to really do that? I mean, the mayor is there, but I know he's tied up, so to speak, because politics the way it is. I mean, it's like the time during the city council meeting, I saw on TV that people was clapping because somebody spoke up for the sanitation workers, and I love Senator Robinson. One time he was my boss, a very good man. But he said, if people can, continue to clap, he was going to have the police escort them out. I was like, well, why is that? Because, they're not, maybe that's not the proper decor to do it. But I was like, that's a little bit harsh. Then Andre Knight spoke up. I was like, yeah, because, the people just voicing, they're frustrated with everybody else getting raised. But the sanitation workers who keep our city clean, they, bottom the barrel. So they're just voicing their opinion so far as the voice just clapping. Which I really didn't agree with that, but I understand his decorum, but there's certain time to do that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people appreciated Councilman Knight speaking up in that moment, because he was basically saying, hey, when something like this happens, the police raise, then you are going to have that can of worms open, and you do have to look at every aspect of this and say, what can we do to try to make everyone feel important, or everyone get a piece of that pie. So I think a lot of people appreciated him bringing that to the forefront. But overall, we've seen a huge rise. Like I say, these. There's people that are questioning this, like, why is this all of a sudden happening? It is right before, we got some elections coming up. So, obviously, I think now's the time, if you have a deep-rooted feeling or passion about something, to stand up and say, this is what I want to do with this movement. But, I was appreciative that he called in, because, and he even said, I even found out, I think that we've, just from him calling yesterday, he's got a few new followers. There was a lot of people that hadn't heard of him yet. He was just established that page barely even a week ago. We look forward to having him here on Monday morning.
I wish him the best, but I don't know what really. You got 7 city council, and I know my city council.
Javaris Walker, yeah.
Yeah, I had called him about an issue. He got right on it. He was very attentive. He called me back. And so it's 7 wards that's represented by, about the whole city. So I wish this gentleman the best, but I don't know. A city hall is way structured. Tell me another way to structure that city hall is structured that he can, play in. That's the basis of it. How is he going to play into a system that's already there? But I do wish him the best.
Well, some action takes a lot of different forms, and oftentimes it's not so much that you have the goal of this is exactly how I'm going to change something. Oftentimes what happens is it's more of the reporting on what happens. It can be, this very well could be nothing more, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but it's another channel that's reporting from a different viewpoint what's going on with city council. And I still believe that one of the main problems that we have in this city and in this area is that we don't have enough people looking at what council is doing with an eye that says, I like this and I don't like that. I think that's good. I'm not sure that I agree with that. So the more times that we can get the information out, and whatever channel we use to get the information out about what's going on is a good thing. That gets us closer to transparency in government than we are now. And also this makes the council aware that the things that they do, when they're good and people agree with them, they're going to be applauded online. When there are things that people disagree with, there are people out there now that are saying, I don't agree with what's going on with the council's doing. That's all a good thing. What the ultimate end game is, or how it changes, that's in the hands of the voters. The only people that can change what's going on now are the people that cast their ballots for the people that are running the city, and that can be elected, and then trust them to hire the people like the city managers that will do what the people want.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, one quick comment, then I know I've been on too long, because I do understand this gentleman's point of view, because I'm born and raised in Westmount, and the citizens out there, like the small town where I was when I was, born and raised there, and it's still like that. But then again, Pastor Gilliard or somebody wanted to build something out there, and then the city council went along with him. So I can understand this new gentleman just coming in trying to shake things up, because I'm like, why come the citizens in Westmount how come their voice didn't matter?
Yeah.
It's like it didn't matter, and that's what I don't like about City Hall.
Right.
It's like the citizens that have no right. That's why they're out there. That's why it's still good, quiet community, because they don't want the city to come out there. It's enough city to come out there as it is, which I don't like.
Yeah.
And so now you're going to bring that in, and the citizens that's been there all their life the way I have, they have no say-so. Like City Hall come in and just take over. That's what I do not like.
Right.
This is why, and this is a great example of why the local votes matter as much as they do, because this is something that affects the people in Rocky Mount. The people that are in Rocky Mount now have had that Westmount piece of property
That's
that
right.
Pastor Gaillard has annexed into the city. The people that are not in the city, now it's more important than ever for them to have their county representatives on their side and to vote in that election, because that's the only representation they've got if they don't want to be in the city. So these are the things that matter the most, and why the turnout number that we talked about yesterday that was so low, and the people that participated in Councilman Walker's Zoom were so low. That's what's so disappointing, because these are the things that really affect your lives much more on a daily basis of what goes on in Washington.
Appreciate the call.
Well, I didn't hear about the Zoom. Maybe I'll spread the news more about this thing about the Zoom, the city council, because I didn't know nothing about it.
Right.
Well, now we didn't talk about that, but we don't know how Councilman Walker really publicized
Oh, he
this.
did.
He did?
All
he did? Okay,
over.
okay,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
That 100%.
Okay, didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate hearing from you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have to.
Okay.
I would definitely step up on there. He promoted it in all forms of.
I
It was
take my comment back.
very, very well promoted throughout social media and other outlets like that. So we do have another caller. We're going to get to them real quick. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you, sir?
Doing good. Hope y'all are.
We are, thank you.
Y'all, I know the caller earlier was talking about the sound.
Yes, sir.
And on channel 17, Optimum, it's a delay about the last 20 minutes. It got a lot of pixels in the channel going, then you're freezing. So I noticed the other week the same, somebody couldn't hear the voice, but it's like if you're watching the screen, there's a delay in the voice.
Yeah, we're aware of some issues and different parts, and
But I don't know. I was trying to let you know where the transmitter or different.
yeah, I appreciate that.
I'm not enough of an engineer. I'm not an engineer at all, so I can't even
Well,
begin to tell you.
we'll take note of it, and
I'm a trained man.
and continue to try on. Appreciate you letting us know.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, buddy. That was a Tarboro call.
Mr. Dixon.
Dixon and Tarboro.
Dixon.
So going back to real quickly what the caller was basically saying. So in summary, I think that's what Mr. Barnes was saying, that he and a couple of these other, like I say, the brothers from the Urban Conservative, Adrian, they were actually all on the same podcast last night. I tuned in to watch some of it. It was both of the brothers, Mr. Barnes and Adrian, all on the Urban Conservative evening podcast, and they were talking about some different things like that. So I think basically what they're saying is we feel like too many people have grown frustrated. And like you say, with the lack of people at Councilman Walker's Zoom, at the 80% of people that choose not to vote. And so they want to do something about that, and they want to give people that feel silenced a voice. And he point blank told me, he's like, look, I believe wholeheartedly that there was wrongdoing in the city that has been, nothing's happened from it, and a lot of people still feel that way. So we want to give those folks a voice. At the end of the show yesterday, Lim, we did have a caller that made a couple of points or observations, opinions, whatever you want to call it. We ran out of time, but I felt like there was a couple of things that were said there that I think you had wanted to respond to, perhaps.
Well, I'll use our callers this morning as an example of what I want to point out. At the very end of the last call yesterday, at the end of the show, the caller made a comment that we are influencing low intelligence black voters, which is an extremely derogatory term, and one that is not true. We have, in my opinion, some of the most intelligent and well-informed callers in the city, witnessed by the people that we've had on the phone just this morning. And while to do what we do, you really need to have a thick skin and not have things get to you. There are times that comments are made that I want to make sure that our viewers know we appreciate everything that you do. We appreciate your calls, your time, your effort, and we learn something. I learn something from callers on a very regular basis. So I could not disagree more with the caller's comments yesterday about the people that call into this station or review it. Your thoughts?
No, I mean, like I said, I would echo that and saying there's many perspectives that have been brought by callers that I've been like, oh, okay, I didn't think of it that particular way. There's things that I personally agree with wholeheartedly. There's things that have been said on the air that I completely disagree with wholeheartedly. I definitely try to respect everyone's opinion. I hope I've built that type of reputation where I respect and honor everyone's opinion regardless of what it is. And, I try to, I guess to some degree stay in the middle and let people have that voice regardless of what it is. But no, I mean, going back to that, I mean, that's the opinion of the caller, and he's entitled to that opinion. I respect that. But as we get ready and head to a break, I'll shift gears here in just a moment. A couple of other announcements.
Yes.
Primary care, urgent care is now open. They opened yesterday, I believe, with a full service lab and x-ray. They're located at 107A Nashville Drive, across from Ribeyes, now taking appointments by calling 252-676-8285. Yes, this is a local number. It's kind of an interesting prefix there, but it is a local number, so you're definitely welcome to go see them. There is a community worship service coming up Sunday, August the 6th, 6 p.m. at Word Tabernacle Church, Breaking the Bread, Building the Body, a gathering of the body of Christ from across the Rocky Mount community, featuring Reverend Alice Johnson Curl preaching, music by a combined community choir, and the celebration of the Holy Communion. An offering to benefit Meals on Wheels will be received. This is planned and presented by a partnership of many local Rocky Mount churches. So just an evening of worship.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter your denomination, doesn't matter where you attend church. They want you to come by and be a part of that. And then finally, Teeny Tiny Turtles on the Tar. Say that 5 times fast. Saturday, July 29th at 10 a.m. at the Rocky Mountain Mills. Day at the Derby, Adopt a Turtle, Change a Life. The lucky turtle adopters will have a chance to win $100, $250, or even $500 cash. I love this poster.
I do
You know, Lim was talking about some movie earlier. Was I going to watch it? Well, I am going to go watch the new Teenage Mutant. I grew up loving the Ninja Turtles, the show, the movie. So if they make a new movie, I'm going to go see that one because that is a highly, highly informative and educational movie. The Ninja Turtles, right up my alley.
Name the 4 turtles.
Oh, easy. Donatello, Michelangelo, Leonardo, and Raphael. And I can even tell you the color of their bandanas.
Name the girl and the turtle.
April.
The turtle.
What are you talking about?
The rat.
Splinter.
Very good.
Come on now, don't come for me on my Ninja Turtle stuff. I got that. We'll be right back with hour number 2 here on the Live Morning Show, brought to you by Don Bullock Chevrolet.
Welcome back to the Live Morning Show presented by Don Bullock Chevrolet. I'm Lim Carnegie. This is Wayne Holloman. Thank you for starting off your 8 o'clock hour with us this morning.
I hear you're auditioning for a side profession while I'm gone.
Absolutely not. The best weatherman in the state of North Carolina, Sir Fred Holdsworth, is not with us today. He has a doctor's appointment. So I'm doing the best job I can to fill in for Fred. Let's take our next look at weather. The main thing to keep in mind today is that we are under a code orange air quality alert for a couple of reasons. One, because of the increased heat and heat index and lack of wind, and 2, because we're back under the smoke from the Canadian wildfires. The heat index is enough to keep people from really seriously going outside this afternoon, but the code orange is something that could pose a health hazard for those folks that are very young, older, or have health problems that involve asthma, cardiopulmonary issues, anything that puts stress on your lungs and respiratory system or cardiovascular system. Being outside in the smoke could be dangerous for you. Afternoon temperatures are going to be in the mid-90s. With the heat index, it's going to feel like it's over 100 degrees. So the combination of heat index, no wind, and the air quality is enough to be able to give people thoughts about not going outside. If you don't have to this afternoon, probably a good idea not to go outside because of that. Let me just refresh this. So in the less than an hour, we've seen the temperature go up 6 degrees. It was 69 when we started. It's already 75 outside right now. Humidity at 82%. Wind speed is calm with the barometer at 30.02 inches. Barometer has gone up, as in keeping with the high pressure system that we're in. Dew points at 69%, and visibility has increased to 4 miles. As the sun begins to burn off what fog it can, now we're looking at the haze that is cutting down the visibility to that.
Be right with you, caller, after he finishes the weather.
Today we're going to have a high of 95 with the low of 74 tonight. Tomorrow, Wednesday, a high of 94, low of 72 Wednesday night. Thursday, a high of 93, Thursday night, a low of 74. Friday, a high of 94, Friday night with a high of 72. And Saturday, we get some relief. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we'll see temperatures only in the high 80s. Chance of rain today is 20%, and that's pretty well set for this afternoon, an isolated thunderstorm. Better chance of rain tomorrow and tomorrow night and Thursday. 50% chance of rain tomorrow and tomorrow night. Thursday has a 30% chance of rain. Hot, humid, hazy, chance of rain, might not. That's the forecast. Mid-90s during the day, low 70s during the night. If you like it today, you're going to love it tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday.
You're auditioning well. Fred might be nervous watching you give the forecast.
Fred has absolutely nothing to worry about from me. So that's our weather forecast. Now, we do have a caller on the line. Caller, thank you for waiting while I get through the weather forecast. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you all this morning?
Doing great.
Well,
how are you, Councilman Knight?
How are you, sir?
All right. I was calling to clear up some
Okay.
misinformation that you all continue to put out over your airways. So since you had Liam up there this morning, I figured whatever you all was talking about, I can share some light, which is the truth. You know, you keep talking about this Zoom call that T.J. Walker had.
and people did not attend that. You know how many people don't attend meetings? And from what I saw, it was a special call meeting in reference to some redevelopment. In my understanding, they had already had their regular little Raleigh meeting. So why are we basing the amount of people, how many people call in on a Zoom call, in reference to people don't care about Rocky Mount? You talk about 22% voted in one of the council race.
Right.
If you look at voters all across America, for the president, you have probably less than that that voted for the president.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I did reference, and when we first brought that up, I said I was clear in saying that is a statewide and a nationwide issue, definitely not just a Rocky Mount thing.
Right. So why are we listening to these folks coming from? Why would you come all the way by the way of from New York by the way of Charlotte? You pass. Charlotte has their own issues. You got Kannapolis,
Yeah.
Greensboro, you got Hickory, Salisbury, you got Durham, Raleigh, Wake Forest. I mean, you got Knightdale, you got Zebulon. You come all the way across the state to talk about some corruption, and you don't pass the corruption that's right there in your town. And then let's talk about corruption. You all keep referring to the audit. None of that stuff in that audit has been proven. And then if you even look at the three things that were cited in the audit, that don't even come up to $70,000. $100,000 when you had Gary Weeks that was prosecuted for over $100,000 in things that he was doing with the city.
Right.
And so when you look at someone mentioned about Rochelle Small-Tony. Rochelle Small-Tony, gentlemen, I'm telling you all this, but you don't want to tell the truth. She did not eat $1,500 worth of food. She had a note from her doctor about whatever her medical conditions are. So she was about $63, might have been less than that, over the per diem for meals.
Right.
That was when she took out the whole city council for dinner. And you're talking about OIC. What corruption or mismanagement of OIC? It was a grant. Reuben is not OIC. OIC is an organization. He's the CEO. He didn't approve the $1,000 grant.
Right.
That actually they said was on the wrong side of the street. In the audit, they said that we don't choose who gets the grant based upon one side of the street versus the other side. If you're on Gray Street, that means everything Gray Street can apply for the grant.
Right.
That
Right.
was stated in the audit. You need to go back and read David Cohn.
Yeah.
The over $30,000. That was something that was mishandled administratively.
Yep. Yeah, we mentioned. So, Council.
$37 was never proven because no black man gonna walk around in Rocky Mount for 20 years and don't pay no utility bill. That's why I can stand flat-footed and say that was a lie.
Right.
Now let's go to somebody about OYC in that building paying less than whatever foot.
Yeah.
Do you realize when Booker T. Washington closed, that school sat dormant until Sam Gray and some other leaders went to Philadelphia, saw what Dr. Leon Sutherland was doing, and came back and asked the city that they use that building or house the OIC in that building to train people during that time.
Right.
The city was not investing money in the building the whole time the OIC was there. They were doing the upgrade in the city until I started questioning in some of the city council that it's still a city-owned building, and some of the things the city needs to do to make the building look better because it was a historic building.
Right.
Like all our other buildings that we own are historic. So why everybody down on OIC? If OIC was not in this community, you know how many homeless people we would have? You know how many people would be the death rate
Oh,
that we're offering health care?
absolutely.
OIC is really access to the city to help us with our issues with
Well, yeah.
our citizens. It's just like the homeless shelter. If it wasn't for the homeless shelter, that would be the burden on the city to try to find out what can we do with homeless people. So we should credit the OIC like we credit these other organizations. The problem with OIC is people don't like Reuben Blackwell.
Right.
Okay, we just deeded the National Guard and Army over to the Boys and Girls Club. What's the daggone difference? Is the Boys and Girls Club corrupt? Are they not worthy of the building? They're doing the service. So all these naysayers who are constantly on your show because they hate, because Reuben and I speak the truth and we stand up. So where is the corruption there? Wayne, you had some issues your family with North Green. What if I bring it up every day? Are you corrupt or your whole family corrupt? Sandra, they said, stole half of the TV show from her wife. Is she corrupt? Do you bring that up every day?
Yeah.
I don't have a criminal record.
Right.
I don't have nothing no more than a traffic ticket or when I was civil disobedient with Reverend Bob. And yes, Leon, Reverend Bob got every right because he was elected by the state of North Carolina, NAACP, to represent all of North Carolina. He is a well-spoken person. He's highly respected across this nation.
Right.
You get some people that come here don't even have no background, don't even have a history of Rocky Mountain, and you're gonna sit here and uplift this false propaganda. It's the kind of folks like you all that continue to push the divide and the hate in Rocky Mountain, because that's all you got to talk about.
Yeah.
And let me say the last thing. You talking about how Beth Wood did this audit and stuff. Did you talk about wreck that she had? Is that so honorable and audit? But you can talk about Andre Knight. And then Westmount. Rocky Mountain did not petition Westmount to come into Rocky Mountain. It was James Eard with the Word Tabernacle Church who's doing extraordinary work in Rocky Mountain. You can compare them just like you compare to the mega church at Inglewood. So if we gun-ho about Christians and helping people and helping the poor and helping those who can't help themselves and reaching out and improving their lives, so you fight against a church that want to go out there and spread the gospel, bring people to salvation, work in the kingdom of God. Maybe that's what God told him to do. Mm-hmm. So why fight against that? So it was the city, and with the city of Rocky Mountain, we have always supported those who wanted to be voluntary annexed, because the North Carolina passed a law where we could not annex for, because the people within Red Oak and Oak Level, was pitching a fit. And see, that stifled the growth as well. If cities could still annex, then our population would be more than what it is, which is right at $60,000. So I just want to know where all this corruption is,
Yeah.
where all this load of voter participation was low vote participation when they elected mayor.
Yeah.
You look at all the registered voters in Rocky Mountain. So y'all, you take little things, and if you say something long enough, you believe it. If you say it long enough, you believe it.
Right.
And so, to me, listening to these people, they don't have a clue of what's going on in Rocky Mountain. They don't have a clue. When we first got on city council back in 2000, it was only $60,000 to demolition, to demolish homes. And we increased that in one vote to $200,000.
All right.
So, and then you get back to the issues of Rocky Mountain, which is housing. We could not continue to do development in the speed that we want to do it, because the money we receive for community development was a certain amount of money a year. So we had to save that money at least 5 to 6 years to build the Bill Street Square, because we wanted it to be in Ward 4, because it was the swing ward, so that Lois and TJ could point to the voters and say, hey, this is a project that we all done in Rocky Mountain, so people can see what we're doing. But you can't correct something in 20 years to something that's been here 150 years. It's impossible. I couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. And so why are you demanding two people to do it? You never say anything about is always under a 90 rule black. Well, that's fine. But you got other people that sit on the campus where crime is high. Do I carry a gun? Do I carry a badge?
Right.
You get the chief of that and ask him what's his plan. We don't want to ask him to do the plan. Ask him about crime. No citizen in this Rocky Mountain can do anything about crime but report it.
Right. Right.
And crime is everywhere. I look on TV today, Raleigh, people being shot. Durham, people
Absolutely.
being shot.
I agree.
It's
We get
all-
Councilman getting a sign from the our gentleman in the back that we do need to head to a commercial.
But yeah, it's a commercial because
Yeah.
you know when you have a talk show and when people call in and they don't say, but it's a shame when you live in a city that you hate the city. Even when I was protesting about the way I was mistreated,
Right.
I still had respect for our city, but wanted to see a change in the system.
Mm.
And when you have systemic racism that's been prevalent in America, you just can't change that in a decade,
Yeah.
in 20 years. Look at now that's being rolled back. You know, even with the abortions and all these things those laws been on the books 50 years, but you're seeing those laws being rolled back. So, you know, you can remember, but you get these folks that come here, these no-name people, they want to talk about Rocky Mountain, but don't even know the history of Mountain. They probably can't even name 10 families that are from Rocky Mountain, both black and white.
I'm really glad you brought up the abortion issue, because when we come back from break, I've got something to talk about with that. But
We-
we
Well,
do
I'm just saying
we
how
do need
when
to.
women
I understand.
No, I understand, but
and the laws been there, and how it.
Right.
we'll talk about that when we come back from break.
But that's not only that, Liam, but look at North Carolina. We always talking about reaching across the aisle. We have Republicans in charge, not reaching across the aisle. Whatever they want to do, they'll do it, whether the governor like it or not.
And
The House
Councilman
will
Knight,
like
all
it or
I'll
not.
say to you is, when I was growing up in Rocky Mount, there wasn't even a Republican primary. The Democrats had a supermajority from the government, from the governorship all the way down. So this runs in cycles. This runs in cycles all the time, and
But
I would say, and it will
they
change.
don't have no
We
problem
will
with
we
whoever's
will
in
come
charge.
we will come
What
back.
they want to do,
with-
and that's politics. And when
That's
people
exactly
don't like
right.
it, they get out and vote, and then the House and the Senate change.
That's exactly right. So the Republicans are exercising the power they have right now.
Right.
All I can tell you is that there will come a time, and more than likely in my lifetime, when we'll have a Democratic supermajority again
That's right.
in
It's just like the children
legislature.
of Israel. Every time God would free the children of Israel, they would forget where God had brought them from. They go back
Yep.
worship idol
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
Yep.
mingling with one another. And then when oppression came from the king, then they would fall on their face and remember where God brought them from, and then he would live with them again. Sometimes it was 20 years, sometimes it was 40 years. Go back and read it in the book of Judges. It's no different with us. People don't forgot the changes that we made within the short span of 20 years.
Yeah.
Then you turn on your leadership, and then you go right back to oppression, and then you go crying back, oh, where the people? They ain't speaking up. They ain't standing up. But keep listening to those folks, Rocky Mountain. You're going to find yourself right back where you were.
We do appreciate your participation, Councilman
Thank you,
Knight. Welcome you to call anytime. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great day, sir. And we will be right back after this message.
That's right. Welcome back to the live morning show presented by Don Bullock Chevrolet. We want to thank Councilman Knight for his call. Even though he did go longer than normal, I want to take a moment and use one thing that Councilman Knight said to give you something to think about. He mentioned the Roe versus Wade.
We'll get right to you,
Well,
Carl.
actually, Carl, this is going to take me a couple of minutes. So, can you quickly tell us what you'd like to speak about?
Yeah, I was just going to give compliments to the weatherman this morning, the young man. He's doing an excellent job. Reminds me of the days of Bob DeBartoleben, and keep up the great work and everything. Just want to make sure, no kudos.
You're
enjoyed it tremendously and so forth.
I think Fred Jones in jeopardy.
You're truly showing your age if you remember Bob DeBartoleben. That's going
right.
way back.
But you are doing an excellent job and so forth, so keep up the good work. And I do want to say that I think, based off, Councilman Knight, his comments, representation with Rocky Mountain statistics and the counting population, particularly from Edgecombe County over to Nash County in 278 27804 as you see more population move out towards 27804 and even Nashville. That I think the ward system, and we've talked about this before, is obsolete. I think with 50,000 people, let's say in Rocky Mount, not all of those eligible to vote, it just doesn't make sense that one or two or even three can dominate in a population that size. And I understand it would take the voting and changing of the laws to do away with the ward system, but a size the city of Rocky Mount, it just does not justify a ward system anymore. That two or three should not be able to determine, or four, I should say, a majority for a city of that size. And so that's my thing on representation, 22% and voting. So just food for thought. And other than that, I will say go Braves. With best record in the major leagues, followed by Tampa Bay, Baltimore. I keep scrolling down further and further.
Oh, look, Lim's doing it.
The Cardinals are in last place.
It has been a terrible.
He did not have to go there.
Well, no, he's telling
it's
exactly
one
the way
thing
it
to
is.
pull for that, but he didn't have to throw that shot.
Have you heard me make excuses for the Cardinal season this year?
No, but I wouldn't throw it in your face.
He's not throwing it in my face. It's not like he's telling me anything that I don't already know. Trust me.
Well, we certainly appreciate you, brother. Anything else you wanted to add to the discussion?
No, but when you two are on, it's my favorite 2 days of the week. Listen to your show. Y'all do a wonderful job. I just wish you were on 7 days a week, 3 times on Sunday. So keep up the great work.
That means a lot. Thank you so much.
so very much.
I appreciate it. You were going to comment on something from Councilman Knight's call.
First of all, again, low.
That is very humbling.
Low intelligence callers. That's what we have. Yes.
Well, there you go. Yeah, well, that proves it.
So, Councilman Knight mentioned the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Bad law. I'd like to give you something to think about that is something very positive that's come out of the overturning of Roe v. Wade, which is that last Thursday, the Food and Drug Administration in Washington has approved the first over-the-counter birth control pill that will allow American women and girls to obtain contraceptive medication as easily as they can buy aspirin and eye drops. FDA cleared the one-a-day O-pill, which is to be sold without a prescription. O-pill is a single hormone daily anti-contraception pill that will now be available for women and girls starting next year without a prescription. It is based by the Ireland-based pharmaceutical company Perrigo. Other countries have long had the ability for women to have over-the-counter anti-contraception. This will be the first time that it is available in the United States. I want you to think about actions that precipitate reactions. And getting rid of Roe produced this. And I would propose to you that wherever you stand on the abortion issue, I think that we can all say that it's preferential to have a woman have the ability to prevent contraception, to prevent fertilization, than it is to have an abortion afterwards. Even better than the morning after pill. This is not inferior to abortion. This is superior to abortion because it prevents fertilization. Now, it does have a drawback. Women will have to, the O pill needs to be taken at the same time every day, whereas traditional pills that have been available in the United States, you can take them at any time. However, the risk with the pills that are out there, especially the risk of blood clots, is substantially higher than what you will have with the O pill. The lack of restrictions also means that the cost of this is likely to be extremely low. I'm not going to be surprised where it starts out at $1 a day, and I wouldn't be surprised that once it gets in here next year, that a woman could buy a month's supply at a place like Walmart or even an Amazon online pharmacy for somewhere in the $15 to $20 a pill, $20 a month range. That's comparable to condoms, but this would be superior to condoms. So if you are on the pro-life side of things, you should really be cheering this, because this will substantially reduce abortions. You're going to give women the ability to have control over their body, which is what they want, to present fertilization, not deal with it afterwards with that. While there'll be some people that will be upset about this, I would say that this is a substantially better way, and it should substantially reduce the number of abortions that we have in the year in the country, no matter what goes on. So if you want to look at something positive coming out of Roe v. Wade, and you want to talk about women having control over their bodies, once O-pill gets here, it will give them the ability to prevent fertilization, which means if there's no fertilization, no need for an abortion after that. So I want to give you that to think about. Caller, thanks for holding on. What can we do for you this morning?
I was calling to tell you that your audio problem is not over the cable, it's over the air, too. I have an antenna, rabbit ear antenna indoors hooked to a 23 dB gain RF amplifier. My digital converter box has a signal strength display, and your quality is only 73%. Your signal strength is only 63%. Your audio strength is only 50%. Your audio is about 40% lower than all 52
Can we make a
stations I've got
sign?
on my box.
Like,
First
I'm
of all, thank
gonna
you.
get Purnell to make us a sign that like we know we're having audio. Can we like put that up in the background?
Okay, you went from 100% this morning down to 95% about 7 o'clock, and then now you're at 53% on the signal strength.
Right. And what's your name, sir? The tech.
Just goes down. You start down at 100 at 7 in the morning. At 5 noon, it's down to 60.
I can't even hear him.
I understand.
Yeah. What was your name again?
Robert Lewis.
Robert Lewis. Okay. We're trying to just kind of document those that are having issues, and I guess that's helping them in their
Okay, this is 400 Oakdale Road.
400 Oakdale Road. Yeah. Okay. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate it very much, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it is. Thank you. Yeah, we need, Purnell, we need to put something in the background saying we know we have audio issues, and so people, I mean, I know they're trying to help us, but we're aware of the fact that we have audio issues, so.
We have another caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Hey.
Miss Davis.
How you doing, Miss Davis?
How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good to hear from you. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind this morning is I just listened to Councilman Knight, and I thought his conversation was one of genuine. And I was like, who is this Tim Barnes? Why does he feel that individuals should vote for him? What has he given back to the city?
Well, let me clarify. Mr. Barnes is not running for anything. Let me make that clear. I don't think we insinuated that, but.
No, but for him to be on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
And the truth about Rocky Mount, everything that I'm reading is negative.
I mean, at the moment, yeah, well, now I'm not saying he might not run for something. I mean, who knows? But to your point, he has lived here for 17 years, and then just boom, all of a sudden he takes this great interest in what is going on. So obviously people are like, and I asked him that question yesterday. I said there have been people that have, if you've been here for 17 years, why now? Like you just all of a sudden, boom, just appear. And that's when he said what he said about, his reasoning.
So what I'm reading is he's with that group with Adrian who have this deep hatred for Councilman Knight and Blackwell.
Yeah, he joined the Urban Conservative, those twin brothers, and Adrian Copeland on a 4-person podcast last night for about an hour. I tuned into some of it. I didn't watch. I maybe saw 10, 15 minutes of it. But they seem to have formed them a little team now, linking all their avenues together. And he even made the reference to me yesterday on the phone that apparently, and I meant to ask Councilman Knight this and I forgot it, but apparently he's had some attempt to deal with both of them because he said that they walked out on him or something, or I don't know what he was implying, that he had tried to talk to him about something and they, according to him, walked out on him or something, or because he was teasing you when you got up for that's the reference.
Yeah, got personal issues, and it can't be resolved. Just stand down, and it's okay to stand down. But to get out publicly and just try to destroy individuals, that is truly ungodly.
Mm.
And I have no problems with Adrian.
Yeah.
I have no problems with him, but when I do have problems when you attack individuals just
So, Ms. Davis, let me ask you a question. I agree with your sentiment. When we have Councilman Knight do the same thing in council sessions, when someone says something he disagrees with during public comment, we hear him take those individuals to task personally for that. Would you condemn the same thing?
We spoke about this several times.
We have, yes, ma'am.
I feel that when people come to the council meeting, they should not address councilmen personally, and that was a personal attack.
That's true. They're
when the individual came up, they attacked him personally. So he has a right to say what he said.
Are you referring to the brothers when they went to the last meeting? Is that what you mean, or?
No. This was prior when he was there. He said he was angry. I can't even remember the topic now. But
okay.
The whole city was just at an uproar. But not the whole city, but individuals
I gotcha.
were just at an uproar.
I gotcha. Yeah.
He had a right to say what he said. He said he was angry.
I know. Okay. I got you.
Factual information when people come down on him.
All right.
So, I just don't understand some groups of people that feel that they can continue to attack this person and without any just cause.
No.
Nothing has been proven.
It will be very interesting, Miss Davis, to your comment, to see what is in this documentary that the Urban Conservative brothers are saying that they are about to release soon. I think we're all, I guess, waiting to see what is in that.
Is the documentary about two councilmen, or is it about the city?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
That's
All they're saying is it's coming, and it'll be groundbreaking. It'll be shocking. It'll be they're not really saying much more than it will send shockwaves through the community. So.
Well, my thought is, if it's something that's gonna turn the city up, black and white,
Right.
they need to keep it between themselves.
I understand that.
There's a place for litigation,
Right.
and media is not it.
I 100% agree with that sentiment.
So I don't want to hear it if it's against two individuals that they don't like.
Yeah.
I feel that they could have spent their time more wisely and just talking about the city, historical facts.
Right.
Well, we won't know that until
and we're just making assumptions right now, but they said stay tuned. It'll be very interesting and I can't remember what the exact words were they used, but it'll be very interesting to see what is in there and how people react to it. Right now we're just assuming.
It appears to me that it's going to be personal attacks. I don't know. You don't know.
I don't know.
But I feel that it's going to be personal attacks. But like I said, it's a place for litigation.
Right.
Ms. Davis, we need to go to a commercial break. Thank you so,
All right,
thank you
and
so
I
much for your call.
appreciate you listening to me.
Anytime. Thank you for calling.
You're always welcome here. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And with that, we will take our final break. You're watching the Live Morning Show. We will come back to what, in your opinion, maybe the second best weatherman in the state of, right here beside me, auditioning for the role. Fred, your job's hanging in the balance, perhaps. So we will be right back after this, ladies and gentlemen. Stay with us.
Thank you for joining us again. Let's have our last look at weather. As we've talked about all morning, the major weather story today is the code orange air alert that we are under for a couple of reasons. The exceedingly high heat and increasing humidity, and again, we're under smoke from the Canadian wildfires. We're going to have afternoon temperatures in the mid-90s with the heat index over 100. And combining that with the smoke that we're seeing from the wildfires, it can pose a dangerous situation for the very young, older folks, and people with cardiovascular and pulmonary issues and asthma. So if you don't have to be outside today, it's probably a good idea. If you have to go out this morning. If you don't have to go out this afternoon, don't do it. because it could be very dangerous situations. And the Code Orange Advisory extends all the way from Greensboro in the west up to the Virginia border and
Be right with you, caller.
over
Hang
to
tight.
and Edgecombe County and Wilson County are the eastern sides of that. Our current temperature is 75 with humidity of 82% with the winds are calm. Barometric pressure is 30.02 inches with a dew point of 69%. Visibility 4 miles. It's come up since the first weather report at 7 o'clock in the morning. So what we're dealing with now, I think, is what we're going to have all day with the wildfires limiting visibility and adding kind of a smoky, as it would be smoky haze to our environment. High today of 95. Haze and a slight chance of thunderstorms this afternoon with a slight chance of thunderstorms tonight with a low of 74. Tomorrow will be a high of 94, mostly sunny, then an increasing chance of thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night with a low tomorrow night of 72. Thursday, mostly sunny, high of 93, chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon, low Thursday night of 74. Friday, mostly sunny with a decreasing chance of rain. Friday night, a low of 72. And then Saturday, we have a break in the heat. It will only be in the upper 80s for Saturday and therefore. So better chance of rain tomorrow and Thursday. Hot, humid, hazy. It might rain. It might not. That's what we're going to see through the rest of the week. So just keep in mind the air quality. If you don't have to go outside, if you are sensitive to air quality, to the smoke and to the heat, no need to go outside today.
You just
take
totally
care.
protected yourself. It might rain, it might not. You're going to win either way, brother.
It's a weatherman. I mean,
I-
if you're right 50%
I
of
need
the
your
time,
job, man.
if you're right 50% of the time, you're doing a great job.
There you go. Well, we got time for maybe a quick call or two. Good morning. And then I got to get through
Good
some more
morning.
announcements as well.
Yes, good morning. I live up here behind the Englewood School, Englewood Plaza. Your commercial break was perfect. I was matching you with 17. When it switches back to you two guys is when the audio level drops. And you went from 83% down to 61 when it went back to your microphone.
How does he know these percentages? That's like impressive.
How do I know this? My box, I have
Oh.
a built-in field.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, dude, you were like
a
a G. Like, what a
I
guy.
was the next TV station engineer. I'm retired.
That's pretty impressive. I would never have a clue.
Our engineer is very appreciative of that
If
information.
you wouldn't mind when we go off the air, call back and give your phone number to him. You might not want to give it out on the air, but if you'll do that for us, that would help us a ton.
Yes, sir. Thank
Well, if you wait just a second, I don't mind giving it out.
Oh, well.
I just can't remember. I can look it up. Hold it
All
up.
right. Most people.
Hold on, I want to look it up.
All
Hold
right.
on.
What is it?
He's got to look up his phone
I
number.
said, wait a second.
He's going to look up his phone number.
Oh, did he hang up?
No.
Okay. Well, while he is searching, primary urgent care is now open. Primary urgent care and services available with a full service lab and x-ray. 107A Nashville Drive across from Ribeyes. They're now taking appointments by calling 252-676-8285. Also, join us for a community worship at Word Tabernacle Church Sunday, August 6th at 6 p.m. It's a gathering of the body of Christ from across the Rocky Mount community featuring Reverend Alice Johnson Curl preaching, music by a combined community choir, and the celebration of Holy Communion. Caller, did you get your number?
252-822-2167, I believe.
We got you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, buddy.
Thank you.
Also, WHIG TV's karaoke is back, one time only, Saturday, July 29th from 2 to 4 at the Golden East Crossing Mall, featuring Lim Carnegie.
That's not,
Come celebrate 25 years with us at the WHIG TV karaoke show, July the 29th from 2 to 4 at Golden East Crossing Mall. I thought I saw that in there featuring, yeah, well, okay. Take that for what it's worth. Women's self-defense and defensive shooting class, which now Lim wants to put me in so he can shoot me. July 26th and 27th from 6 to 10 at 2725 North Church Street. Class instruction includes self-defense tactics and awareness. Instruction is given by Sheriffs Clea Atkinson and Keith Stone. $100 to attend the class. And you can call 813-8898 to get more information. And finally, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are coming soon to it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. No. I'm on one today, aren't I? Like, literally, like, one day without watching the Braves, and I go crazy. Teeny Tiny Turtles on the Tar. Say that 5 times fast. I'll give you $10 and take you to lunch. Saturday, July 29th at 10 a.m. at the Rocky Mountain Mills. Go to turtlesonthetar.com, and I am going to put in a plug for the Ninja Turtle movie, which is coming to a theater near you very soon. I got to.
We have time for one quick call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
How are you, sir?
I'm calling in full support. Yes, good morning, gentlemen.
Hey.
Good morning.
Yeah, we got you.
I'm calling in full support of Councilman Knight and his comments.
Okay.
And I was just disappointed that this guy come all the way from Charlotte to criticize Rocky Mountain when there are a lot of good things going on in our city. And like I say, I call in this morning for support of Councilman Knight and his comments. Thank you.
We
thank you for calling,
appreciate
sir. We
your call
appreciate
very
that.
much. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
for your opinion and the support there. That is what makes this show, in my opinion, so enjoyable and so fun, and great thing to be a part of is that we can all express opinion and all share our thoughts. We may have about 30 seconds left, so caller, be very brief if you may.
Good morning.
Well, good morning. I'd like to say appreciation to the wardens here letting these prisoners from the local prison call in response to in support for Reverend Knight and the other criminals that are trying to hijack this city. Thank the warden very much for that. And as far as the lies that Andre Knight has spewed about him not owing the city money, not anything that comes out of that man's mouth, I've noticed, if you'll look in the mirror or just reverse what he's saying, real truth. Anyone that can call himself a reverend and then come out and lie as much as he does and steal from the city and other people is amazing. And for someone to actually call in and support that kind of activity, I put them all in the same boat. They all of them should have been in prison years ago. But how a city councilman like that can get on there and spew so much hate. These guys need counseling, but it's not city counseling. These guys need counseling big time. They're living in some other fantasy world, but we're in big trouble as long as these people are being considered our leadership. They need to be taken down and get out of office, for one thing.
Appreciate the call. We
Yes, sir.
got to go so we can get on for the next show. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
so much.
Thank
Welcome your call at any time. That's all the time we got here on the Live Morning Show presented by Don Bullock Chevrolet. Make it a great Tuesday.
Thanks for watching, folks. Have a great day. We appreciate all of our callers taking their time and effort to call in. Have a great day and be careful out there.